What is going on, guys? In this week's video, I'm going to be going over 7 different ways that you can make money as a photographer in 2020. I'm going to be going over it in a different video, how to make money as a videographer, but this video is going to be focused mainly on photography and using a camera to generate some income. So if that sounds interesting to you, let's get right into the video. Alright, I'm sure you're wondering what the 7 different ways are to make money with a camera in 2020. First, I want to make sure that you subscribe to this channel if you like my kind of content, which is different ways to make money online and different ways to generate income with cameras, photography, and just online entrepreneurship and personal health videos as well. So if you like that kind of stuff, make sure you subscribe, it'd be much appreciated. So before I get into the first 7 steps of this, or first 7 ways to make money with a camera, I want to just go over a couple of different things just so you can keep in mind and not have higher expectations than you should. So some main things are just this kind of making money with a camera. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes a lot of hard work and dedication to get to a level where you can charge people money for photos or whatever it may be. For me personally, I know that I did a lot of free work when I first started out as a photographer. Yes, I'm a photographer. You can check out my Instagram. It's right here if you want to see some photos by me. But that's besides the point. When I first started out, I knew I was doing a ton of work for free and then like building relationships that way, and then eventually starting to charge people for it. So you can't just like go, well, you can if you want to, but it's hard to go into something and charge someone right away if you don't have any proof, like a portfolio to show them and back what your skills are like. Another couple things to take into account is like, what kind of photos do you like taking? Who are going to be your main type of people that you work with? And another thing is like, you don't need super fancy equipment, so stop using that as an excuse. I mean, you could use your iPhone. It doesn't look super professional. I mean, I'd probably get a DSLR like I'm filming this on right now, or some kind of mirrorless camera, whatever you prefer. But an iPhone would work. It's just like, it doesn't look that professional. I just feel like if you have a DSLR, it kind of it goes without saying that you know what you're doing. Another thing is like, you don't need to have people skills and networking skills, but it is a good skill to have that will help you greatly with this kind of thing, making money with a camera. And my last thing is just make sure you take every single opportunity that you're given, as long as it fits in what you like doing. Because experience is key with photography, and getting every single chance of experience that you can get and then using that to promote yourself to potential clients is a major key when it comes to making money with a camera. So I don't want to ramble anymore. Let's get into number 1. In no particular order, there's just 7 different things that I came up with off the top of my head. Most of these things I've done myself. So the first one is going to be pretty self-explanatory, and that is doing photography for local cafes, restaurants, and just local businesses around town. Now, every single local business has an Instagram page these days, and if they don't, they're doing something wrong. And on that Instagram page, they need content, and that's where you come in and you promote yourself to these local businesses. Having a clean Instagram feed is what most young people, like my age and everything, they see that first. They don't even see the business's website. So if you have a local business, they're definitely going to want some photos. So going to a cafe, a restaurant, or some local business, you want to go in person. Don't want to send an email. Emails usually don't work. I've tried it before. If you go in person and you introduce yourself, say what you're in there for, and just promote what you're trying to sell to them, you're definitely gonna have a better conversion rate with clients and getting them and doing work for them. And just remember, like, the worst thing that someone at one of these cafes, the manager, whoever you're talking to, can say is no, we don't need that right now. And then you move on and go to the next one. Example, these places would be like coffee shops, barbers, car dealerships, cafes, restaurants, anything that you can think of that's local and not like a big streamlined business. Like you could go into Starbucks and ask if they want some photos, but chances are they've got professionals doing that kind of thing. So I'm thinking about like your smaller coffee shop on the corner, like those little small family businesses. They definitely want photos, and that's where you come in. So that's number 1. So number 2 is my personal primary income source with my camera right now. I do photos and videos for this kind of thing, but you can just do photos too. And that is doing e-commerce photography. For me, I research different types of stores online. Usually Instagram is where I do this kind of thing. And I find different e-com companies. So what I mean by e-com companies is like, for me, I do a lot of jewelry companies that are based on Instagram, and they don't have like a physical location anywhere near me. So their store is online, and their Instagram is their main source of traffic. So obviously they're going to need content. So building a business relationship with an e-commerce company and doing photography for them is a great way to make money. And for me, I find them on Instagram. I make sure that I send them a DM and just say like what I'm doing, what benefit I can provide to them with my camera. And I also make sure I send them an email. So I send 2 different communication things just so that I make sure that they see it and they know who I am. And one main thing to keep in mind when you're sending these DMs, you want to make sure that your Instagram page is pretty clean and it kind of showcases your portfolio, because when they see you DMing them, the first thing they're going to look at is your Instagram page and see like what you can do, what you have to offer, because words can only go so far. You got to prove yourself too, so they're going to check out your Instagram page and your website if that's linked in your bio, which it should be with your portfolio and everything like that. But like I was saying before, if you don't have these kind of things, make sure you're doing work for free for people, friends, family, whoever it may be, just building a portfolio, because that's how most photographers start out. Some examples of like e-com companies would be like a jewelry company, like I said, clothing brands. Tons of local businesses have e-com websites, so you could kind of pair the first one that I mentioned with like cafes and stuff with this. But yeah, clothing companies, jewelry companies, watch companies, there's so many online based companies. Like the one that I work for with my friend is based in the UK, so like they don't need to be close to you. So number 3 is definitely the most basic one, and it's the one that most photographers will start out with, and it's the reason why I got into photography, and that's doing person-to-person one-off photo shoots. For me, I started out doing car photography, so I'd contact people in like car groups on Facebook, which is a great way to find people. Facebook and Instagram. Again, social media is huge when it comes to cameras. Like if you don't have it, then you got to get it if you're doing photography work for people. But anyways, I started out with doing car photography, so I did this stuff for free. I just liked cars. I still love cars, so like I love doing it. So it wasn't like a burden for me. I liked going and taking pictures of people's cars, and that just built my portfolio. And then eventually I moved into portraits, so like contacting models on Instagram and just asking, hey, do you want to shoot? And like I did those things for free and built a portfolio off of it. And once that portfolio gets rolling, you're beginning to see probably how important a portfolio is. You start building a portfolio on your Instagram, and people start contacting you and asking how much you charge for a shoot, for example. So that's another way to make money with a camera. And it takes a little bit of time, a little bit of effort. But once you get the effort and build that foundation, it's a solid way to make money with a camera. So number 4 is going to be real estate photography. And this is definitely something that you should know about if you have a camera, because realtors need photos, they need videos, whatever it may be with a camera. Realtors they're looking for that kind of media, and you're the person that's going to fill the gap for this kind of thing. Having high quality photos of a listing for them is huge. So you're playing a vital role in them selling a house, which is someone's biggest investment in their entire life. So I mean, photos matter when it comes to real estate. Finding realtors isn't that difficult either. Again, Facebook, LinkedIn, you could contact them through Instagram. Most of them have Instagram pages where they promote their listings. And you can also go to the website, whether they work for a broker or they work independently, and find the email to contact them and just ask. The worst they can say is no. You can also go to local establishments, like I said before, like some realtor place in town, and just promote your services, say what you're doing, and the worst they can say is no again. So I mean, real estate photography, if you're into like homes and stuff, this is an excellent thing for you to get into if you have a camera and you're looking to make some money in 2020. Number 5 is going to be selling your photos digitally and as prints. So what I'm saying by digitally is having a website with your whole portfolio and selling them on your website, your photos. So you'd have to have an e-commerce based website for this. So things you can use be like Wix, they have an e-com function. Shopify is an e-commerce based platform to build your website around. WooCommerce is another one. I'll link them down below so you can check them out. Basically, you just want to have a strong portfolio, and a lot of people who sell photos sell mainly landscapes. It's not really gonna, you can sell portraits, but if you want to make some money with like printing off prints and selling those and selling photos digitally, the main way to do it is through landscapes, so like nature photography, automotive photography, stuff like that. And lots of people love these kind of photos. So if you have a good way of marketing yourself, and you can even use like Facebook ads, whatever you want to do to sell your photos, you can put up posters in like local cafes. This is another way to make money. There's so many ways to make money. I just listed these things off. But yeah, selling digital photos and prints is number 5. Number 6 is very similar to number 5, but it's a little bit different because you're not selling them personally. You're selling your photos through stock photo websites. And this is a way that many photographers make money. And basically you license your photo to a website like Shutterstock. There's ones called Alamy, iStock, Photo Shelter, and Adobe Stock. These are all stock photo websites where people buy photos from them. Basically, you submit your photos to these websites and then they sell them on their platform, which has tons of traffic. So there's people looking for photos that you take, and you pay a commission fee every time you make a sale on their website. So for example, if I put my photos onto Shutterstock, Shutterstock's gonna get a piece of whatever my photo is selling for on their website. I haven't done this personally, but I've always thought about doing it because it's not very difficult to get started with. And if you're good at photography and you wanna make some quick money, selling stock photos is a great way to build your portfolio and just keep expanding your business. I know lots of people who are making tons of money off of this kind of thing because they're just high-end photographers, but anyone can start with this, and you don't like need a portfolio like a lot of the other things I'm talking about you need. You can just upload your photos to it and sell them. So I think Number 6, selling your photos on stock websites is an excellent way to get started in photography and making money. And the last one, number 7, is something that you might need a little bit more experience for, but if you're an experienced photographer and you're looking for new ways to generate some income, that's going to be event photography. So going to events like concerts, sports events, weddings, all these big kind of events where photographers are needed. Great ways to make money, and they pay really well too. Sometimes it's free work, you're exchanging services, but other times you're gonna get paid for these things. Like wedding photographers make a ton of money. Some people are full-time wedding photographers. Like just take that into account. It works pretty much the same way as other things. Contacting these people who run the events, people who are doing weddings, maybe it's a family member, they need a photographer. All these kind of things, it all involves networking and contacting them and selling yourself. So depending on how well you sell yourself to these kind of events like concerts, sports events, and weddings, like the companies that run these kind of things or the people that are having a wedding, it's going to determine how much money you make and if you get the job. But if you're good at this kind of thing, you have a little bit of experience, I think event photography is a great way to turn to if you have tried doing that before, because I think you can make a lot of money doing that. I do have a bonus one too. You do have to have a little bit more experience to do this, but if you have experience and you're looking to sell some knowledge, this is a great way to do it. And that's basically just holding photography workshops or selling in-person or online lessons based all around photography. If you know your stuff, this is something you can make a ton of money off of because there's no inventory. You're literally selling your knowledge, and you're benefiting other people too. So it's a great way to make money. Another thing you can do is, I'm just thinking about this, you could sell presets for your photos, like from Lightroom. This is kind of like selling services, holding these workshops and stuff. You can make a lot of money doing this. I follow some photographers on Instagram and I see them promoting these kind of workshops all the time. Great way to make money if you're an experienced photographer. Okay, so those are the 7 things plus a bonus tip. I hope you enjoyed those different things. Just something to keep in mind is that there are so many ways to make money with a camera. It's insane. You just have to be creative and build some experience. You can tell in almost all those things I said, you want to build a portfolio first, do some free work and get your name out there. The more you do this, the more business you're going to get, the better you're going to get at photography, and the more money you're going to make with it. Always keep in mind, you don't want to start slaving away and doing jobs that you don't like doing, because that's when it starts ruining the passion for you and you don't like taking the photos or whatever you might be doing any longer. And I've experienced this before with companies that I've worked for, and it's just like, I don't like doing this, so it's not even worth the time for me. So make sure you like what you're doing, and what you're doing is something you're putting your heart and soul into, and you enjoy working for that particular person or business. And just having things like a website and a portfolio laid out on your Instagram are excellent ways to make money with this, because you need these kind of things if you want to promote yourself to businesses or people, whoever your clients might be. So in a couple of weeks, I plan on making a video based all around how to make money with videography. But this video has been all about photography. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe if you like my content. My Instagram is right here. If you want to take a look at some of my photos, my website's linked down in the description too, if you want to get an idea of something that you could build out like a portfolio for clients and get some work. So that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. New video coming out next Sunday. I post a video every Sunday, so I hope to see you next week. See you later.